What are some other...
Okay, so a couple people want to know, what's been the best decade? Would you say it's the 50s, the 60s? Like, when were you thriving? Or society? When was the society thriving?
The best day,
the best decade for you
decade for
personally?
me personally
Mm-hmm.
would have been when I was involved in something. It was either my years in school,
Okay.
or not the decade I got married, but that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
And
But like, did you like a time period, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 20s? Like, I know you weren't alive for much of the 20s, but I know that you still like the 20s music.
yeah,
But like, was there a specific decade, whether it was fashion or just kind of what was going on
Yeah.
in the world or whatever? Was there anything kind of fun that you remember about a specific decade?
I think a lot of it had to do with the movies
Okay.
that I would be able to see,
Mm-hmm.
and I was limited on certain movies, but
Yeah.
most of them back then weren't that naughty.
Yeah, you could
know.
just go in and watch
Yeah, you
anything.
could just go in. But it was movies because I was a big fan of people like Shirley Temple and Jane Withers and,
Yes.
and again, Bing Crosby and
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
All those kind of movies. Easy watching movies. Nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't like war movies.
Sure. Well, you lived through it.
Yeah.
You didn't need a
I
movie
didn't
about
need
it, right?
a movie about it.
And
Do
I
you,
think
do
that-
you have a favorite movie like that just comes
Yeah.
to your mind that you loved or still love now?
Yes. Oh golly. I was just thinking about one the other day that I would go and see time and time again.
When you were little or when you were younger?
It was when I was younger.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, I don't know what it is then. I know that you love Pretty Woman.
that is
Oh,
my favorite
yes.
of all time.
That's
Oh,
her
it
favorite.
is?
Yes, that's her
I
favorite
love
of
Pretty
all
Woman.
time.
I can watch that anytime. I
Yep.
love that.
That was my favorite of all time. And then when I was younger, of course, any Shirley Temple movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you really loved her.
Because I was a dancer. I took
Yeah.
tap dancing and
Mhm.
ballet
Mhm. And
and
gymnastics.
gymnastics, and so I was kind of a teacher's pet.
Yeah.
We had two good dance teachers
Yeah.
in Kankakee when I lived there. One of them was the one I had, Miss Barkley,
Yeah.
and the other one was Mr. Levy. He was expensive. I mean, his lessons
Yeah.
were probably $3,
Yeah.
where mine was maybe only $1.
Yeah.
Wow.
And my mother did almost all the costume storing, sewing for my
Yes.
teacher. So
That's how she could afford to pay for
Yeah.
grandma to go to class, is that
Yeah.
she would make all of the recital costumes.
Yeah.
Her mom was an incredible seamstress.
yeah, so that was a good time in my
So
life.
you liked watching movies that had to do with dance and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
and that was perfect because people were putting those kinds of movies
Yeah,
out.
That's
with-
right.
Even with the swimming in it, the synchronized swimming.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You just probably
Yeah.
loved those.
Esther
sorts-
Williams.
Yes,
and
Yes.
you
those-
loved all of
That
that.
reminds me of like in the movie Annie when they
Yes.
go to the theater
Oh,
and you
I
know.
loved that movie
Yeah.
too.
Same. Love Annie.
Yeah.
I think that for people who are submitting questions asking about like your favorite decade, I think that's an easy question for us to ask because she lived, like, we're probably thinking of the 60s and 70s, which we didn't even live through.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't even born then.
But there's so many.
But there's so many that she's like, well, I don't know. I was just parenting through them.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
I was just trying to work. I was
Some
just trying.
of those decades are probably kind of a blur.
Yeah.
Because you were in the thick of raising 9 children.
Right,
I
right.
mean,
So she
It's
wasn't
tough.
just enjoying her, we look at it back as though it's like this time period
Yeah.
of fun and
Of
passion.
entertaining you.
Yeah, and it entertained us.
I'm
but
like,
for-
tell me about the sock hop.
Yeah.
And it's just like, she's like, no.
Yeah.
I had multiple children at my feet pulling on my skirts.
But I did go to
That's true.
a sock hop or two, but that was,
In high school.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I know that the first night I spent evening, excuse me, not night.
Oh,
No, just
The first-
evening. We're talking before it got dark. Before it got dark, my God.
not the night.
Not a lady of the night. Let her correct that real quick.
When I moved to Greensburg, Indiana, I was going in my senior year in high school. And when I got off the train, John, whom I later married,
Okay.
and another guy, I don't know who he was, were standing there talking. They both worked on the railroad during the summer
Okay.
away from college. So I saw the two of them standing there talking, and I just went on into the depot with my dad. And John, whoever he was talking to, said to him, I'm going to marry that girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And he made arrangements with girls who were in school then to meet on Saturday. That was a Friday, on Saturday night at the Y, where we had a teen thing. you know.
Okay. Yeah. A little meetup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little meet cute.
And so I did go
Yep.
with this girl, and we knew her parents because my grandparents lived in Greensburg, so we knew a lot of the people already.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I went with
With a girlfriend.
Janet,
Janet, of course. She went with Janet.
Janet.
and met John, and that was all she
And
did.
that was it.
Yep. She
Wow.
went back. She went back, and a boyfriend broke up.
Broke up with him.
Yep. And started long
Okay.
distance, basically dating Grandpa because he went back to Notre
He went
Dame.
back to Notre Dame.
Oh, I didn't
and
realize
So
that's
you
what
guys
it
were
was.
just exchanging
he
letters.
Was, yeah, he
Mhm.
was in
Letters.
his
Yeah.
sophomore year at Notre Dame.
Wow.
Do you-
How often would you write?
Oh, I'd write every night.
Oh yeah.
I was lucky if I got a
Every
letter
night
every
In the
2
night
or
weeks.
evening. Every night or every evening.
Yeah, well,
I'm just kidding. You were allowed to write letters at night. You
Oh,
just
yeah.
weren't allowed to be with a boy at night.
That's right.
You could write all the letters then. And you've saved a bunch of those letters? Or not anymore?
if they're still down in the garage, I've saved them.
So we might be
Yeah.
able to uncover some letters.
I would love to see some letters. I would love to see just some old photos.
Oh yeah, we'll have those.
Oh,
We'll,
yeah.
we
I
definitely
think,
have
I think
those.
our viewers and listeners are really going to want to see some old pictures.
Can I tell a funny story about so grandma and grandpa? So my grandpa went to Notre Dame, as I just said, and so they had a lot of Notre Dame stuff hanging up around the house.
Sure.
And when I would be asked in school, teachers would often say, like, you know, what are you? And I would say, oh, I'm Irish. I'm Irish. I'm Irish. I'm Irish. And finally, no, like forever. Like I've said I'm Irish forever. And then we finally got like the
She
23
still wears green every week.
I mean, I tried. Green looks great
It's
with
true.
purple
It
and
does.
my complexion.
Yeah.
And so we finally do the 23andMe. I'm talking just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And we get the results back, and I'm like, wait a minute.
I thought I was Irish.
I thought I was just 100% Irish. And then it dawned on me that I thought this because it said fighting Irish.
Fighting Irish.
all
go,
over their
Go
house.
Irish.
Go
Lots
Irish.
of shamrocks.
Green and gold. I just assumed that I was Irish
There you
for
go.
way too long, like way too long into my adult life
What
of
does
having
your
a brain.
23andMe come back as?
I can't remember. I'll
I
have to
can't
look it
remember.
up. I'll take a screenshot
I
for
would
you.
love to know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there is some Irish in there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I'm
Because-
sure.
I've been known as Dutch, Irish, Scotch, English, and Indian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
My mother had an Indian.
Ancestor.
Yeah,
But
a
like-
little bit.
Well, that.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
So I would. There you go. So that's some of me, and then I'll have to figure out my mom's. I forget. People always ask me this, but I forget what my results are from that 23andMe. But definitely, at least there's some Irish in there. I wasn't lying the whole time. But I for sure just would tell everyone I'm 100% Irish because I'm the fighting Irish.
That's
And
right.
it was just Notre Dame. And Grandpa was obsessed with Notre Dame.
Oh.
Do you think he loves Notre Dame or you more?
There are things he couldn't do at Notre Dame that he could do at home.
Hey!
Oh.
Grandma, I love that. I love that. And so tell them, how long were you married?
Yes.
69 years.
Wow.
69 years to John Thomas. So John
Oh
and
my
Jerry. Her real name's
goodness.
Ruth, though.
Yes.
She's Ruth, but
My
tell her why
name
you went
is-
by.
Yeah, why do you go by?
My name is Ruth Carolyn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My father was working on the railroad when I was born, the night I was born,
Mm-hmm.
so he didn't see me until the following weekend.
Okay. Wow.
So he came into and back then they kept you in the hospital a long time.
Yeah.
10 days, 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah,
Get me
yeah,
out
yeah.
of there.
Yeah.
And so
Whereas I'm like, keep me because I want all that hospital
You want the food?
You know it.
You want to be served.
I want to be
Yes.
served. Grandma had 10 days with every kid in the hospital, and she was like, "This is my vacation
Yes.
because when I go home, I have all those other kids too."
Yeah.
I
She
think
got
that's why
90
she kept.
days.
I think that's why she kept having babies. She's like, "I need a 10-day vacation.
I need a break.
that's it. They said,
And
come on.
yeah, and the whole Catholicism birth control part, but yeah, it
Yes.
was really just to get your 10 days off.
Sure.
Okay, so what we were saying is we were just talking. Oh my gosh, and then I cut you off.
You did. You did.
Oh dear. But what were we saying? I know we talked about hospital food, and then I can't remember. You were saying, oh, so your dad was not
Yes,
there
yes,
at your
he
birth.
did.
Yes.
Yes,
So
I did
when
it.
he came,
You did
when he came home the weekend, he came up to the hospital and he looked at Mom and he says, "What'd you name her?" And she told him Ruth Carolyn.
Okay.
He had an Aunt Ruth that was 6 feet tall and ugly as sin.
And he was like, how could
And
you
he
do this?
hated her.
How could you do this to me?
Question mark.
How could you do
And so he said, "Well, I'll never call her that."
Mhm.
Okay, good for him.
So he walked over to the crib. He looked at her and he says, "Hi, Jerry."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And was a little bit of it. Now, see, I always thought that the story was he had these 3 girls. He was really wanting a
Oh,
boy.
yeah.
And he
That's
did.
why Jerry.
And that's why it's Jerry. Because he was like, you're going to have a boy name.
Huh.
If I'm going to
But-
call you anything.
But you know, I think Jerry really suits you.
Yeah,
I know
I,
it.
it
And
does.
Ruth doesn't.
I don't
at
think
all.
Ruth is your vibe.
So I was never called anything
Oh
else.
my gosh.
It's until, recently everything legal has to be
Yeah.
under Ruth and all that, but I was never called Ruth.
Yeah.
And my mother went to the teacher in 1st grade and I was there at that school so much of the time. I was the last one and my mother was PTA president for 100 years. And so I was always going up to the school with her first. And my mother went to Miss Carson and said, "I don't suppose it would do any good to ask you to call her Ruth when." She says, "Who, Jerry?"
Yeah.
Absolutely
So I-
not.
Mother said, "Okay."
Yeah, it's just Jerry.
It's
Yes,
just Jerry.
And Grandma, speaking of going to school during that time, she would tell me that if her mom wasn't at home and she was 3 or 4 years old,
Yeah.
she would just go to school with her older sisters and just sit next to them at their desk. That
No
you could,
way.
That you could just go
You could just bring a kid's sister to school.
bring a sister to school day, and that she would just go and she would just sit there,
Oh,
and
just-
that's
yeah.
her. That's the only way she could be watched.
Wow.
Isn't
That
Can
was
you
why-
imagine?
The teacher was my babysitter.
Right.
Could you imagine if like
Like, kids
Tinsley
would-
just took Lachlan to school because y'all were busy and he just sat next to her?
I
at
mean,
the
I think
desk?
they probably would both love it. Honestly.
But
No,
that-
I loved it, I know.
she did.
Yeah,
She
to be
did.
with all the big kids, like that's
And I
fun.
knew so much by the time I got to school.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
You know,
because she
true.
was taking it all in.
So
I
smart.
knew all my alphabet. I knew
Yeah.
I could add, I could subtract.
Yes.
You know,
got a
because
little
I
head start.
Did it with them.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
right.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to ask this because it kind of piggybacks. I feel like you're a Jerry and not a Ruth.
Yeah.
How do you want to be remembered? Like when your day does come, which is not tomorrow.
Despite
But-
her saying it constantly.
It could be 10 years from now, okay? But how do you want to be remembered? When people think of you, what do you want them to think of?
I want them to remember me as Jerry, the mother of all those kids who resented it sometimes,
Yes.
but didn't at others.
Yes.
Yeah.
Loved my family very much. That's, there were times when I wanted to kill them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no,
It was very hard. There were some very hard times.
there were some rough times. I went through a lot that I shouldn't have had to go through.
Mhm.
No mother should.
Mhm.
And yet, when things like that happen, you think, well, it could have been worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you have good perspective about it,
yeah.
right?
Well, you almost have to.
Yeah.
You could go through the rest of your life crying,
Yeah.
and you think, well, I know.
Woe
when-
is me and things like that. But instead, you're just thinking,
Yeah,
I've had it pretty good.
I really did.
You really have,
I
right?
really have. I've never gone hungry.
Yeah.
I've never gone without clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've.
Yeah, even when you ration the food you ate, even when you know your mother could sew your clothes for you, and
That's
you know,
right.
even if she wasn't there in certain ways, there were ways in which you were very protected, I think,
Oh yeah.
and you never were harmed in any way. And
Got spanked on my butt
well,
a few
yeah,
times.
that
but
for same.
my
All
mother
of us
was-
can say the
yeah.
same. You've never spanked me, I don't think.
No,
Oh, that's
my mother
nice.
was left-handed, and boy,
Yeah.
when she.
She got
It
left
was
hand.
usually just once or twice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to get the point
Or
across.
she would tell me, go out and get a stick.
Get a switch off the
Didn't
tree.
want to do that. Didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I got smart after so many times
Mhm.
of that switch against my.
Ooh.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah,
I would bring bigger sticks,
they
and
hurt
she'd
less.
say,
Yeah,
"I can't use that on you."
you're like, please don't use them at all, then,
That's
mother.
That's
Right.
smart. Yeah, bringing a big old rock.
It took me a while, but
You got smart.
I
You got smart. What were some other questions that people had?
So,
Because
there
we were talking about the decades and then kind
Oh.
of big life events.
Okay, so this one for sure. What is your secret to a long life? What has allowed you? What do you attribute to being able to sit here right now,
To live
age
this long.
95?
Mhm.
okay. I'm not very brave, so I don't do.
You don't take risk. Is
I
that
don't
what you're
take
trying to say?
risks.
Okay.
You're not a very risky
I'm
person.
not a very risky person. I kind of want to know how deep is that pool before I
Sure.
get in.
Yeah.
I want to know, is this car
Safe.
a good car? Is it
Yeah,
a
is it a
safe
good car?
Yeah.
You know what's ironic about this, Grandma?
What?
Do you remember what you recently told me that you wish you would have done before you died?
Something in the sky.
You wanted to go skydiving.
I do.
And I tried to look it up and they won't allow you to.
The age limit.
They won't.
The age.
What is the age limit?
It's not about an age limit, it's more a physical limitation.
Okay.
It's like,
Okay.
you know, you can't walk in with a walker
Sure.
to your skydiving
Well,
appointment.
yeah.
I'm really sorry to be the bearer of
Can't you
that.
see me skydiving with my so I can land with it?
Because you have to be able, I'm pretty
Well,
sure,
that's true to land.
you have to be able to land.
because you
on
land
your feet.
pretty hard.
Yes.
And
Yes,
it's on
I
a
know.
run.
And even when you're tandem into somebody, you have to be able to put your feet
Yeah.
down and land. And ultimately, like, no, I'm sure that there is an age limit too, but it was more just like a physical limitation.
But one of the presidents did
A skydive.
yeah,
Oh, I wonder who that was.
They allowed a president to skydive?
recent.
Oh,
Recent?
really?
He was
Well,
the
oh,
one
he's
that-
already, but he wasn't the president anymore, is what you're saying.
He's not a president.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
he was
But
the
still,
president.
When he skydived?
I think so, or
Huh.
just out of office.
Okay, I'm just curious because I know they have
Oh, yeah,
very
it's-
strict
it
limitations.
says George Bush Sr. went skydiving on his 90th birthday.
So that was
Mhm.
after.
That's
So
who it
so
was.
look up some of these skydiving restrictions,
Okay.
and it could have just been the place I looked at locally.
Yeah.
But maybe if we can find a place, you know what? I bet when we take you to Vegas,
Yeah.
they might have
Yes.
Nevada might have looser laws when it comes to skydiving.
They have open air.
So, we were gonna take you into the Grand Canyon.
Oh my
I'm
Just
gonna
float
go all
on
the way
in
down, and I'll never get back up again.
You can only go in if you can climb your way out.
Okay, I mean, it says, as it turns out, there's no upper age limit for
Yeah.
skydiving. So it probably really is the
It's
physical
a physical
part of it.
limitation.
Whether that's weight, whatever, like making
Yeah, I would
sure.
want to skydive at 250
Yeah, you're gonna
pounds.
be okay in that regard. It's more just I think it's more about the landing. It's
Yeah.
it's something about having to be able to put your feet down. and kind of take,
And I wonder if even she could do the skydiving places where you kind of just pretend.
There's a place called Fly in Concord where it's air being pushed underneath you, and you're in the suit and you're kind of flying like that. Maybe we could look into that.
That would be cool.
I wonder if they'd like to sponsor us.
That would be amazing.
And do that with Grandma.
She might be the oldest person that they've had.
We would have to see. I know.
And that would be like a claim to fame.
That delights her.
Yeah.
That delights her.
Okay.
We got to use this old age for something.
Yeah,
am
we
I
gotta
right?
do something.
We are going to.
We've got to exploit your old age for something, Grandma. Get us a
It's
sponsorship.
not making me any money. You might as well make me famous.
Oh my gosh.
That's true. We could get a news crew there or something.
Okay, so I want to know now, current age now, what kind of things like do bring you joy in the day to day? What are the things that make you happy?
Hot Fudge Sundae.
Oh,
God, you're so cute.
that's
With
good to
cream.
me.
So freaking cute.
Nuts.
Yes.
She loves whipped
I
cream.
love my Hot Fudge Sundae.
With a little caramel sauce on it?
Well, that would be good
That'd
too.
be good.
Yeah, she likes that. She likes the idea
What
of that a lot.
things? What kind of things would make me happy today? Is that what you?
Yeah, like things that just day to day. You know, you said
Yeah.
you like your bowling app. That brings you joy.
I do,
Yes.
and I wish that I could go bowling again.
Grandma used to be an incredible bowler. She was part of bowling leagues.
Oh, God.
That's the reason why we go bowling over our Thanksgiving
Yeah.
extravaganza for
Yeah.
March.
That makes
Is
sense.
because she loved
But,
bowling
yeah.
growing up. We went to the bowling alley with her to watch her. She was on, you were on the
Bowling
TV
for
it.
dollars.
Bowling for dollars.
Oh
Was
my
it the
God.
news that used
And
to do
Jack
that?
would call it bowling for
For
dollars.
dillards. Yep, he sure would.
Dollars.
Yep, he sure would. So you were on
But
that.
I was on that.
You were an
and
incredible bowler. You were
I
really
missed a strike by one pin.
good. Yeah.
And
Oh.
so I didn't win a lot of. I think
You
I
didn't win the
won
dillards.
$11
Yeah,
or something.
$11. Yeah, that was something I remember watching you on TV growing up do that.
Yeah.
And then, so you were really good at bowling. You love bridge.
Bridge.
Oh, I love
okay.
playing bridge.
Okay.
Loves playing
And
bridge.
is that something you still do regularly?
I don't anymore, but
Okay.
only since COVID because
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She was in a
because
bridge
we
club.
quit getting together.
Yep,
Sure.
she
But
was
I've
in a
been
bridge
in
club.
bridge club since I was, oh gosh,
A young adult.
a young adult, very young.
And she used to play bridge and she'd smoke her cigs.
that was amazing. There were 8 of us in bridge
Yep.
club,
It's
and
true.
all 8 of us smoked.
Just smoking their
Just
cigs.
scrubbing
playing-
the playing cards.
Well, they thought that they were supposed to.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
true.
back when smoking was not frowned upon.
No.
You were encouraged to smoke.
Yes.
You were encouraged to, everyone was supposed to just have a cigarette.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Right, Grandma?
Yeah.
So you
Not
would
funny.
smoke, and I mean, she would tell stories of holding her babies and smoking.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd feed them,
Yeah, like
Like
with
this.
her bottle.
and my cigarette would be
Yeah.
here.
But look, they're all doing great now.
They're all fine. And
Everything's
like I
Yeah.
always say, she can get really hard on herself about stuff when it comes to raising the kids. I wasn't, I didn't get enough individual time with them because I had so many, and I didn't have certain conversations that I wish I would have had with them, and right?
Yeah.
And
Didn't teach them facts of life.
she
Yeah.
feels like that there were some missed opportunities there, and I'm like, Grandma, the proof is already in the pudding.
It is.
They're
Look at them.
good.
Everybody's thriving.
They're
Everybody
great.
is-
Everyone takes care of themselves.
Yes.
Like they have great kids
Got
and
married,
jobs and
had
married
kids.
and have.
Yeah.
I'm like, you did it.
You did it.
You did it.
I
You
did it.
You
did
did
it.
it. You have to stop being so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
John was not a whole lot of help.
He was busy.
Yeah.
He was busy.
So it really was you did it.
I did it because John thought the world of his job,
Yeah.
and he gave it his all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if he had to stay at the office until 10 o'clock at night, he would.
Mm-hmm.
Or he would come home, eat his supper real quick, and
Go.
get back to the books again
Wow.
and work. When he would come in the door, and he was always late, it didn't matter what time he'd be home. I'll be home at
5:30.
5:30,
Mhm.
6 o'clock at the latest. 6:30 would come along, and I'd say, "Come on, kids, we're gonna go ahead and sit down."
Yeah.
We'd sit down at the table by 7 o'clock. He might open the front door, and we'd all together say, "We just sat down." That was our.
I love
We
it.
just sat
We
down.
just sat down.
Yep.
Yeah,
Does
we-
your dad remember doing
Oh
that?
yeah.
Oh,
Every
my
single one of
God.
those kids remembers it. They talked about it in his eulogy at his
Oh.
funeral.
Yeah.
And that was so Grandma didn't make him feel like oh, we've been waiting forever
Yes.
for
Oh,
you.
we just sat down.
And listen, they had those conversations.
Sure.
Trust and believe that.
Yeah.
But it was more, I'm not going to guilt him right now.
Yeah,
It's
because
right.
he's been working hard. There is something to be said for a man that works hard.
He was just a hardworking. He was the husband, the
Yeah.
father. He had a lot of mouths to feed
Yep.
and had to
And-
make the money.
And he was slow.
In what way?
John was slow in getting something accomplished. If he had to cut the grass, it would take him all day.
Yes, as some would
And-
say, methodical.
Yeah.
He was
Okay.
very methodical.
Yeah.
He was very routine, very ritualized. Everything had to be lined up in a certain way. I mean,
Yeah.
someone
His closet and his drawers were
immaculate.
Wow. I
Yes.
strive to be like that.
Yeah, that's not my
I will
journey.
never
I did
be.
not get that from him.
Open any drawer in my house and it's a nightmare.
It is. It's true.
Yeah.
It's the same for me too. Except for Joshua organizes the
Josh
junk drawer.
does love to
And
organize.
he does, and he'll do it. His are perfect, but not me. That's okay.
Yeah.
Opposites attract.
No.
That's right.
But you just had a busy life. Every day was just
Oh,
getting
Phil,
these kids to school. I mean, she talks. It was just feeding.
Yeah.
you start
It's
out
probably a
with
blur.
whoever was the baby. That's the first thing you did is feed the kid,
Mhm.
change his pants,
Mm-hmm.
and then you went downstairs and you started breakfast. And it was either in the winter it was oatmeal,
Uh-huh.
or in the summer it was toast and maybe scrambled eggs. Or,
Yeah.
But it was a decent breakfast.
Yes.
And then
Grandma, tell them what else you made every day for your kids for breakfast.
What?
Every day you made what drink for your
oh,
kids
hot cocoa.
from scratch.
Cocoa.
From scratch, every morning she made her children hot chocolate on the stove.
That's a good mom.
I'm like,
I
hey,
had
Mom.
an old coffee pot.
Yeah.
The kind that
I'm gonna tell Matt, and he's gonna start doing that for our kids.
You know he will.
God.
Thank God. They need more.
It
They're
was
so
like a
deprived.
percolator, but I took the guts out
Yeah.
and just, mix the cocoa and the sugar
Yes, and let that warm
and a
up.
little water and
well,
let
yeah.
that heat up and then
Poured all the milk in, little
so
vanilla.
So that, no, I didn't.
Oh, no
put
vanilla.
vanilla.
Oh, you gotta have
I
vanilla.
know, that's what Starbucks.
And a little salt.
A little cinnamon.
A little, you could.
You never had cocoa at my
I
house.
Maybe I didn't. I wasn't one of the kids that, but she'll be like, they just didn't have enough. I'm like, you made them hot cocoa
Hot
every morning
cocoa.
with their breakfast.
I
That's
mean,
Yeah, I
plenty.
did.
How
I
sweet.
did. come
You
to think of it.
did.
But if they had oatmeal, they had toast with that. And if they had eggs, they had toast with those.
You made them a proper breakfast.
I bought a
Yes.
lot of bread.
Yeah, you bought a
I
lot of bread.
bet.
Boy, did I buy bread and milk. We had milk delivered.
Yes, milk was delivered.
Milk was
Mhm.
delivered.
And
Yep.
The milk
I would
beer.
get
Yep.
4 gallons of milk.
Wow.
And then on weekends, I'd get 5. And I'd still maybe have to go to the store and get milk.
Yeah.
But they just drank a lot of milk.
So
Yes.
much.
So much
They all
milk.
have good bones.
Yes.
Long
my,
livers.
My husband is going to love this episode because he is.
He can't give his kids enough milk.
There's actually, and other children come to our house to drink milk.
Yep.
Because
Oh,
they're
yeah.
not really getting it at their homes,
Mhm.
and so when they
I
come over, the first thing they say is, "Can I have some
I
milk?"
can't get over your kids not drinking
I
milk.
know your kids don't drink milk.
Lily drinks. Lily will. Yeah, they won't drink milk. Lily will at least eat milk in cereal and things
Cereal.
like that. And Lily will drink milk if it's like in a kid's meal. But yeah, Bella doesn't drink any
She's
milk.
not into any.
Now they did when they were little because I transitioned from breastfeeding straight to milk
Straight to
at
milk.
1 year old.
Yeah.
And then then we didn't do sodas or juices ever. So it was either milk or water.
Yeah.
And they just happened to choose water. Even Bella, when we transitioned, I asked the doctor, I said, she just does not like to drink whole milk. She doesn't like to
Yeah.
drink milk. And he was like, she's good. She's on the growth chart. If you just want to give her water, we'll monitor it. From that point on, she went from breast milk to water.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did she ever like yogurt or anything?
No,
like
she
that?
doesn't like white creamy stuff like
Interesting.
like sour cream or mayonnaise, milk,
Cottage
cream
cheese.
cheese, cottage cheese. No, she doesn't want any of that.
Wow.
And
Bella.
whereas Matt gives his kids so much milk that the
It's-
youngest doesn't want real food because he's so full.
He's just full of
He's
milk.
so full of the milk that like he doesn't chew. You know, he just nubs things like nah nah nah.
It's a
You know,
lot.
I'm just kidding. But it is a lot of milk. Milk right before bed. Hey, there's still not dry through the night. I'm like, it might be the cup of milk that you're sending him to bed with.
That and the fact that he's still wetting the bed. And
No, he's not.
He never wet the bed. That kid went from diapers to underwear.
Yeah.
Never did
No
a pull-up.
pull-ups.
He didn't want to.
We didn't do pull-ups with our girls either.
Yeah.
We didn't do that.
They just decided, I'm done.
Yeah. Then they were done.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Wow.
But-
Okay, so I want to know. Or is it okay? I'm still going.
Still go.
Okay, what is
Are you
one-
okay, Grandma, to still
Yeah.
keep going?
Yeah.
Do you want a sip of your water?
Yeah, get a little sip.
Okay.
Get a little sip.
I could. Let me hold this a little closer to you so you don't have to keep reaching.
You know, because I
You good?
feel like this has got to stop something.
What? Oh, okay. That's going to be the force that we make you stop if we take away your water. But do you like this?
Oh, this
Are
is
you enjoying
fun.
talking about
I'm
things?
enjoying everything.
Okay,
good.
good.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
Am I?
You're doing
Yes,
so great. Grandma, this
amazing.
is so interesting.
I cannot wait for people to
People
hear
have
all
no
of these
clue.
things. I've learned so many new. I mean, I didn't know what a party line was.
She didn't know what a party line was. That the milkman was just just like she had no clue that was real. That was just in the movie.
Yeah, no, the milkman was bringing you 5 gallons of milk on the weekend.
No, this
my
is very
God.
interesting. I think that what maybe you don't realize is that not so many people. When did you lose your grandparents? What age were you?
Well, I was gonna say that is that this is a treat for me because my dad's parents, his biological mom passed away before I was born, but you know, they passed when I was in high school. And so I had a relationship with them, but I just felt like it was never super close like you guys had. That just kind of wasn't fostered. But I did love them and care about them. But it just, I don't know. We just never were close. And then my mom's
Did
parents.
they live in the same town?
They lived in Salisbury. So we would, drive on Sundays maybe to see them a couple times a month. And then my mom's parents were in Concord. Now, we were very close, again, through high school, but then there was some family things that had happened that were not good.
I see.
And some things that had come out. And so there was just a complete breaking of that relationship.
Yeah.
And my sister and her siblings and us kind of all went one way, and the parents went another, and that was it.
So they're still alive, but you just don't see them?
No, so my grandmother passed several years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, and my step-grandfather, the monster that he is, donated her body to science.
Okay.
There is no grave. There is nothing. He just, that was
Maybe
it.
I can do that.
No, don't do that, please. Wait. If you want to become a tree, we can arrange that. But please don't donate to
I think
science.
her plans are already in place.
Okay,
I don't
good.
think we have to worry about that.
Okay, good.
Right, Grandma? The plans are already in place.
She's like, yes, play.
They are.
Yeah.
Good.
We got all that lined
Good,
up.
good. But yeah, and then the step-grandfather just a few years ago passed away, and thankfully one of my aunts was able to go and kind of rummage and retrieve a lot of pictures
Oh, good.
and just
So you still have
memorabilia
that.
that they really wanted of them growing up. So thankfully we got that. But all that to say,
Ding, ding.
we just didn't have that close relationship.
Yeah.
So I love seeing this.
That's too bad. When we were younger, my sister Jane and I, she was the one next to me, we would go for 2 weeks in the summer. Did I tell this one already?
You haven't told it today.
No.
Okay. We went for 2 weeks in the summer to Grandma Bowers.
Yeah.
And
That's my dad's middle name is
Okay.
Bauer,
I like
after her maiden.
and they, my grandfather sang in the choir at church, and they were older, and I can still remember sitting there watching the choir sing, and him saying, "Oh, come, 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 come to the church in the wood, and
And so you would go visit them and you're like, we're just going and sitting in church.
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, just to
We
listen
went
to Grandpa
to-
sing.
We went to Sunday school.
Yep.
We went to church.
Yep.
We went to prayer meeting Sunday night.
You went
we
to Wednesday.
Went to Wednesday
Yeah.
church.
And now this was Catholic church?
No.
This
No,
was just
she didn't
okay.
grow up Catholic.
Okay, so you
She
did.
married into Catholic
I didn't know that.
Yes, yes.
because my grandpa very Catholic.
Oh wow.
And so
Mm-hmm.
that
She's
was
a
our
good
2
woman.
weeks in Greensburg. Now, Grandma Bird, on the other hand,
She was
They
the
made-
the G.
they made their own beer, and they went up every night to the tavern,
Yeah.
walked up the hill.
Mhm.
Come on, we're going up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
So they walked up the hill, and they went to the tavern every night and sat at the bar and drank beer.
And brought them in tow.
So
And
you
my-
had two different
so
things
my-
happening with the grandparents, is what
So
we're
my
saying.
sister and
They
I,
were like, "Can we please go there?"
I want to go to the tavern.
And you would stay with them for what, 6 weeks at
we
a
did
time?
Oh,
for
fun.
6 weeks. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
It was the most fun.
Go to
She
the
was so
tavern.
excited to go.
Oh my gosh.
And so, and that's the one summer that when we went, I wore my hair with a bobby pin.
Yeah.
Straight, no curl,
No,
nothing,
girl.
just a bobby pin.
That's so chic.
And so,
So
Jade and I were throwing a ball back and forth to each other one evening, and I said, "Wait a minute," and she didn't hear me, and I was getting ready to put it, and you know how you split the ball?
Yep.
Yeah.
You gotta split it apart.
Went right through my ear.
Oh,
Right through my ear. So we went in the house, and I'm yelling, "Grandma!" And then they didn't have the little rubber tips
No.
on the bobby pins.
Oh my
So I'm yelling, "Grandma!" And she said, "Get in the bathroom." So I went hanging over the side of the bathtub, and she's going,
Pulling a metal tip out of
A metal
her ear.
bobby pin out of her ear.
I
And it
wonder when
went
the
in-
rubber tips
It
got
went
out.
in like this. It didn't,
After that.
it didn't go like this. It had to go
So
like
there were
this.
2 puncture wounds.
Oh yeah.
Well, why don't you just put an earring in it?
I know you
I'm just
can.
kidding.
They didn't have, I don't think they had, did they have hair?
I don't know. They might have only had clip-ons at that time. You're right.
Oh.
You're right. There may
Yeah,
not
when
have
did
been.
that come along?
That's why she said fashion changed so
Wow.
much.
That's
it wasn't
insane.
just like it wasn't just what was proper, improper, or
I'm looking
whatever.
this up.
It was earrings coming along versus them being clip-ons
Yeah,
or shoes changing.
coupons for things.
Ooh.
You never
Coupons.
heard of coupons for things.
Yeah, put that back up to your mouth. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Oh.
Okay, so listen, let's
Yeah.
get into like the real.
Okay, what's the real?
So we could tie these together, but what, for anybody listening to this, what life advice would you want to pass along? Or you could say, what are the best or biggest lessons that you've learned in life? What is it that us in our 30s or 40s, what
Need
could
to hear.
we learn from you now?
Now,
Yeah.
okay. Don't sweat the hard things.
Okay.
It's not worth it.
Even the hard.
Even the
Most
hard
people say
things.
don't sweat the small stuff, but your point is even the hard things
Even
because
the
they
hard
pass.
things.
Because they will pass.
You have to, yes, they will pass. You will live through it.
Mm-hmm.
You may think this is the worst thing that ever happened to me. It won't be.
Mm.
There may be something even worse,
Yeah.
but be ready for it.
Yeah.
And just know that, okay, I'm a grown up.
Mm-hmm.
I can take this.
Mm-hmm. I'm capable.
I'm capable. I can hang in there.
Mm-hmm. This too shall pass.
That's right. And that is one of my favorite sayings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This too shall pass.
Because
So
you've seen a lot.
I've seen a lot
over the years.
Over the years, and I have thought at the time it was horrible,
Yeah.
and
And
it
it-
wasn't.
And
Yeah.
it's not to discount what truly is horrible, but it's more just that you will get through it.
Yes.
That you can
You'll come
and
out.
you will. And I've definitely been able to glean that insight from Grandma for
Yeah.
sure, because I'm just like, I just, perspective is such a beautiful thing that
It is.
I have such a firm grip on it. I feel like because of you, I've been able to watch you or my mom or my dad. Like there's just so many generations ahead of me that I've gotten to learn from,
Yeah.
learn this lesson from. And it's really hard to get too in your head about things when you have a 95-year-old right next door
That's
to you,
right.
and then 65-year-olds right next door to you,
Yeah.
who can kind of shake you out of it a little
Yeah.
bit, like
Who've been through some
come
hard
who've been through
things.
some hard things. And so I would encourage you to have some of those conversations with your elders.
Yes.
Have some of those really tough conversations. Ask them things about their past, and it will very quickly shake you from whatever you're thinking is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh, you were alone when America was attacked and you had no one to tell you it was going to be okay.
That's right.
Like, we're just so privileged. We just don't even understand it because there's not enough people like Jerry who are there to say, hey, have you thought about this?
That's right.
And I'm really glad that you've been able to tell me so much and that I've peppered you with so many questions.
Well, and it's been fun for me too. I mean, I've enjoyed going through a lot of this. What I thought at the time was crap, and which is now kind of funny to go,
you look back at it. Yeah, and I'm always telling her, Grandma, you've got to release your guilt from that situation or whatever it is that she goes, oh, I can't believe that happened.
No.
I was so embarrassed and what a shame and what it did to our family and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but it's okay. Look at everybody now.
No.
We're all right. Like, you have some, yes, that was hurt in the moment, but look at where everybody's ended up.
This family is amazing.
It's
I can
amazing.
say as an outsider looking
They
at
are. I think about it now, and you know, when I had 9 little ones, well, I mean, Jeff wasn't little, but still. When I had 9 of them at home at one time, I thought, will this ever pass?
I know.
Yeah.
And yet,
And it
here I
here
am
you
to
are
talk
now.
about it.
And now they all want to still hang out. So kind of going
Yes.
back to that very first thought is like, I know my aunt and uncle, like my Aunt Erin and my Uncle Joel, her 2 youngest, are best friends. They do everything together. You see pictures of them constantly hanging out. And then you saw, you know, my Aunt Jenny and my Uncle Jim were the ones who lived in Nashville, and they were thick as thieves.
No.
And then you have my Aunt Angie and my Uncle Jeff, who both live in Cincinnati. They're in a band together. Like, we're talking about people in their 70s now who hang out, who sing together, who play together. They've been siblings for 70 years.
Amazing.
And they still choose to be with each other. And I said, that's your legacy.
It is
that's
your legacy.
it.
Because the good feelings, I think we tend to draw back to what gives us those good feelings. And I think their good feelings were at home. And that was your home.
Yes.
And so those siblings feel like home to them.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you
what
created that.
That's what they really remember of their younger years.
Just
is
always
being at home.
Being at home and just
And
obviously they feel good about it because they continue to choose each other, you know.
They really do. I mean, it is. And Lissa and my dad work together.
Oh yeah.
My Aunt Lissa and my dad Jack, they work together every day.
That's
like
right.
they get to see each other. There's just it's just amazing how much they like to spend time together. It's not forced. It's just this is who I choose to hang out with because I love them so much. And I was the same way with my cousins growing up because we watched our parents do this.
And you still are just like
still so close with them.
close and so proud of them and like
so proud of my I have the most talented, incredible, smart, funny. My cousins are just so freaking cool. I love them so much. Well, they are crazy too. They are crazy too, but we are so lucky. And several people asked Grandma, who's your favorite grandchild?
Yeah.
We know who it is.
You know who one You know who one of them was who asked? Katie.
Did she?
And I know you love some Katie.
I do love Katie.
We love Katie.
Oh my goodness.
She-
Now say again who did this painting back here?
Oh, my cousin Taylor.
Okay.
My cousin, so they're going to see this on the video, Grandma, that painting. So that's one of her grandkids,
Okay.
Taylor. My cousin Taylor's a phenomenal artist.
Yes, love it.
You know, my cousin Jessie, another granddaughter. Jessie is a phenomenal singer-songwriter in LA, signed to Warner Chapel Music. She writes for the biggest people. You have...
Is Max on this side of it?
Yeah, Max. Yeah. We have my cousin Max, her grandson Max, who's an Olympian, who plays for the U.S. men's volleyball team in the Olympics and has won a bronze medal. We have, you know, Alex, who just graduated from Yale and who, you know, designs these amazing sets in New York City for Broadway and shows. And I just, and then all the way to, you know, my cousin Kirby, who's a preschool teacher in Charleston, who's like helping kids who so many people would be like, I could never do that job. I could never teach preschool.
100%.
You have a saint like Kirby who can and who does. And it's just like, everybody is so awesome. I just am so in love with my family. And it's because I had a matriarch like Jerry who showed me how to be a mother,
Yes.
how to show up day in, day out, grind it out.
Sacrifice.
Love them, love them, love them, you know, be tender, be sweet and gentle and all of that stuff. And you know, and then I have other things from my mom and my dad, but I'm so fortunate that we grew up in Charlotte, that my mom moved away from New York, came down here, met my dad at a garage, you know, to fix her car, and that you said, if y'all are gonna live together, you better be married. And so they said, I guess we'll get married 3 weeks later.
Well, I called Jack maybe 2 or 3 in the morning. I said, get home.
Where was he at Mom's apartment? And you said, you better get home. Because they were just dating at the time. And they were 20?
Oh, yeah.
21.
And this was in the night, as you mentioned earlier.
This was in the night, not the evening.
If it's 2 or 3, we are in the nighttime.
And yes, they tell the story of there was a tense dinner.
Yes.
And basically was like, if you're gonna live together, you're gonna be married.
Yeah. And so they did.
So my dad turned to her and said, you want to get married? And Mary said, sure. And that was it.
Thank goodness, because now here you are.
I know, but I'm just like, but that was Grandma saying,
Yeah.
you're gonna do it this way. You're gonna do
it
it my
right
way.
But they have stayed together,
They have.
too.
Of course, we're sitting
have.
on their couch in the living room right now.
Here we are.
And they have stayed together 40 some odd years later, and
Wow.
after knowing each other for 3 weeks. Even faster than you.
Even faster than you.
Even
guys.
faster than you, Big Red. Okay, so Grandma, I want to go back to, because I think people want to hear when you said, how do you live a long life? So many people want this secret, y'all.
They want the secret.
Besides her saying, I'm not very risky. It's not like you eat healthy.
No.
You drink.
Oh, Lord, no.
Yeah.
You don't drink a lot, but you certainly
But
did
So
drink.
you still enjoy like a cocktail? Or
Oh,
something?
yeah.
Oh, yes.
She wants a 7 and 7.
Okay.
Don't you?
I would take one now.
She wants a
Oh my
7 and 7.
gosh. I gotta come over here one day and we can have a little cocktail hour.
We can have that.
That would be
She
great.
has a bar in her place still with some liquor, and
That's right.
she
Good
likes
for
to
you.
have a little nip.
Yeah.
A little nip.
But living this long,
How long did your mother live? What age
Yeah,
did
I
she
was gonna
die?
ask that.
she was in her 90s.
And your father?
And my dad was too. He
We just have
longer
long
than she
livers.
did.
Wow.
Long livers.
Long livers.
Long livers.
We really do, and it's not. No one's eating like organically. Like Grandma's
Oh,
not
no.
doing that. She was a smoker. She
Wow.
drinks. Like
so
that-
it makes you
You
feel
don't
like
work out.
so
No.
much
You
of it.
Lord, no.
Did you ever? I mean, like
Well,
were-
yes, when my children were babies.
you did
I ran
like
up
jazzercise or something.
No, I ran up and down the stairs to change their diapers.
Yes.
That's it.
So much.
I'm telling y'all, like
that was it.
there's
Up and down,
no
up and
like.
down.
I know people want to hear that it's exercising and eating right
Meditation.
and all that, and it's not like
It
not
is
for
not.
you,
When,
not for you.
When I
It's genetics.
Yeah.
when I
That's
lived in
what I mean.
Cincinnati, there was a girl down the street that I was close with. I'd say, let's start an exercise thing.
Yeah,
I said, you come on down
that's
to
us.
my house.
Let's
Yeah.
start exercising.
You come to my house because I have the babies
Yeah,
and they need to be in naps and things. And we'll
they can't go to
exercise.
school with their older siblings
That's
and
right.
sit in that room.
Yeah, not just yeah.
So we'd lay down on the floor and we'd do
Legs up.
Oh my
and we would, do the arm lifts.
This reminds me of Marvelous Mrs.
Yes.
Maisel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was our work again.
Where they're just like
And-
lifting limbs.
Yeah. Then we would get up off the floor, go get a cup of coffee out of the kitchen
Yes.
and a donut.
And a donut.
Yeah.
And
And
smoke a
sit
cig.
there
Yeah.
and smoke.
Smoke a ciggy.
So that
What
was
a
my
life.
exercise program.
What a life.
It's just,
But
it's
it's like,
amazing.
I think it's because they just enjoyed life.
That's-
That maybe they are living longer because they weren't sweating the small stuff. It's
That's
like,
right.
you know, I moved my body, now let me have a cig and a
That's
donut, you know?
So I gained 5 pounds last week. Well, that's okay.
That's all
It'll
right.
go away next time I break.
And she
it.
was chugging sweet tea. I mean,
Yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
by the gallon, chugging sweet tea and eating carbs and everything. You just,
And
it's-
candy. I
and
love candy.
she eats so much candy.
I love it. I love candy too.
I know. That's
Those
why
milk does.
I just don't think, I don't know that there's a secret.
I don't think that there
I don't know
is.
that there's a secret, and I know
don't
every
know.
doctor listening is
I
going to be like,
know.
no, don't say that, don't say that. But there is, I'm sorry, like everyone in my family lives into their 90s.
I think
and
genetics.
they're not eating organic and working out and getting 64 ounces of water a day. Guys, I'm just saying, when it comes to my family, that's just not their journeys.
Okay, kind
It's
of
not.
speaking of that a little bit. I love this question.
Okay.
What is the most rewarding thing about getting older? What do you think that might be?
Okay, I can answer that. The most rewarding thing is that you know what you know, you like what you like, and you do what you do.
Yes.
And if nobody agrees with you, to heck with them.
You don't care.
I don't care.
Gosh, that's so liberating.
Ah,
So with age just comes
break me
like,
from these chains. My God.
because we are in an age where we are supposed to really care. You know, 30s
Sure.
and 40s and
And there are things that you do need to care about.
sure.
You've got to know that your children are being fed,
Yeah.
that they're being dressed warm enough,
Yeah.
that they're looking cute.
Yes.
clean.
She
You
cares.
know,
That does matter.
She does.
Yes,
She does care about that.
Thank
She
you
does.
so much.
But,
Wow.
you know, you don't want to. We were lucky because our kids went to school in school
In
uniforms.
uniform.
Yes, that is very lucky.
However,
But you're saying those are the basics. Cover the basics
The
and stop
basics.
overcomplicating all
Yes.
the rest of it.
don't,
Yes.
don't sweat.
So as you get older, you're realizing it's just these basic things that matter.
Yes.
Loving people, being with your family,
Yes.
you know, and
Food
that's it.
and drink and love.
Yes.
Those.
Yeah.
Was there a movie like that?
Oh,
Eat, pray, love.
Eat, pray, love.
There you
Yeah,
go.
eat, pray, love.
And
About a woman like going to India and like finding herself. But yeah, sure,
Yeah.
we'll go with it. But I do think that there's something to be said about that. Like I'm a big needs for response person, so I'm constantly
Yeah.
weighing something I see that I might like or whatever, and I go, do I want this or do I need this?
Yeah.
And so I'm big on if I've covered the needs, I'm at 100% already.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, my kids are happy and healthy. Joshua's doing great. Like
Yeah.
those are my needs, priority right there, right?
Yeah.
That everyone has what they need. The wants are just bonus for me. But I already
Right.
feel like I'm doing great because I'm already meeting all
You're
the needs.
meeting the needs.
I'm meeting the needs.
I have found that
It's so simple.
my mom's getting older and she's in her late 60s, is she's like almost giving more stuff away. She's
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't want this anymore. I don't need it anymore.
Mhm.
I don't want it around. It's taking up brain space. It's
Yes.
taking up physical space.
Yes.
It's like she's realizing what really matters the
Mhm.
older
Right.
that she
and
gets.
releasing the things
Yeah.
that don't.
see, that's funny because I think of this every day. I wish I had the energy to go through all of my drawers,
Yeah.
take out everything I don't want,
Right?
throw it away, give it away.
That's right.
But
You've but you
You've
have
probably parted
whittled
with a
down
lot.
so much.
Oh, I
You
have.
have whittled down so
Over the years.
much.
Yes.
And it's okay that you keep what you keep.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I have, yesterday I went through my closet.
You did?
I did. I took
Wow.
out all of my winter pants
Wow.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and I put in all of my,
Spring.
I've got all my summer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're all
Your capris.
Like little crops.
Yeah.
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 crop pants,
I love that.
and all my short sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
Got rid of a lot of them.
And you told me when I got here that she loves the Marshalls.
Yeah, she loves going to
I can-
Marshalls and
I like going
TJ
to Marshalls.
Maxx. and
She's a
things
Mac
like that.
Barista.
I
She's a
like
Mac-
going to,
Belk.
Oh,
You
I
like
love
going
a
to a
Belk.
department store too?
I love
I
department
like to
stores.
go, yeah, I like to go to,
You're doing great. It's okay.
I like to go to fancy stores too once in a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
But no, I can't buy anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you probably also are like, do I need to buy anything?
Yes.
You know?
Again, we talk
Yeah,
about
that's
that
right.
too, don't we?
Yeah.
You just go in to look.
Just to look and
See
just to
how the
see.
other half lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. Oh
Even
my
though
gosh.
she could go and buy
Yes.
something nice for herself
Yes.
if she
I
wanted
could if
to.
I wanted to.
Yeah.
But she doesn't.
Now
She's practical.
you said she has a dog. You have a dog.
I have a little.
So when you
Yeah.
said what brings her joy,
Yes.
I cannot
I
believe
know.
you didn't
I
lead
haven't
off
mentioned
with Duke.
I should
Aw.
have.
Duke is the light of her life.
Is,
Oh.
he's a little chihuahua,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how sweet.
and he's too fat.
No.
Because you feed him a lot of caramel.
Not a lot.
Grandma, don't lie to these people.
After she sucks the chocolate
Don't
out.
you lie to those people. You give him food from the table. You're giving him the
Listen,
carrot
he's
out.
living his best life
He
too.
is. He's living his
That's
best
right.
life too.
When I go, he goes.
Yeah. How old is Duke? How old is
Duke
he?
is what, 6 years old or
He's
7?
7 or 8.
Okay.
7 or 8 maybe.
He's somewhere in there, but he's really like she has something to take care of, and
Yeah.
it's really important.
I sit in a chair all day long,
Yep,
and he lays right here next to
we
me.
can see.
Oh.
You've got Duke all right there.
Am
I love that.
That's okay. He's always with you.
He's your
His
companion.
fur's everywhere.
And he's, now, they can come in, Mary and Jack can come in, anybody that he knows, he'll get down and he'll go greet him,
Sure.
but he comes right back
Right back to you.
and lays
Yep.
right next to me.
Yep.
What a
Nobody's
sweetheart.
gonna hurt her.
Yeah.
No, him.
Him,
Mhm.
no,
He's saying no one's gonna
He's-
hurt her.
Oh yeah. He's saying
He's
that.
kind of
yeah.
guarding her.
Yeah,
But,
he's a good little dog for her, and gives you it's something. It's just so good for you to have something to take care of. I think too, because you got to get up, you got to move.
Get
like
moving.
even
I
if your
gotta-
body is, but your body doesn't really hurt.
no,
That's the
My
other thing
back
that's
does.
amazing.
my
Her
back
body-
does a little bit.
A little bit, but like
But it's
you don't
old.
have chronic pain. You're
No.
not on tons of medication.
That's great.
She's just like for the most part, she is healthy. And besides your stroke a couple of years ago,
Yeah,
that's it.
and I didn't even realize I was having a stroke. I mean, that's
No,
Yeah.
what
she
was
really
so
didn't.
strange. But
It was. That was scary for me.
yeah,
I said, we're not gonna
Not
lose.
today.
Not today,
it's
Satan.
not time.
It is
It's
not.
not.
And I went to your rehab place and I said, I'm gonna bust you out of here.
Yes,
As soon as we can.
Get her
I'm
out.
gonna bust you out of here. Yeah. I had blue hair at the time. Yep.
You never
And you
know.
know they called old people blue hairs.
Yes.
So I was like, look, we both have blue
I-
hair.
I never had blue hair.
No, but you have the best white.
Yes.
If I can go
And that's
that
what she
white,
wanted.
that's all I want.
Yeah,
I just want to go your shade of gray white. It's
I
perfect.
like it.
It's beautiful on you.
And not that too many of our kids have it, do they?
No. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Jeff has nice looking hair, but
Yeah.
it's
They can all
Kinda
grow their hair.
two-tone.
The men haven't balded.
no.
No.
Yeah.
Like they've got good genes.
It's so
Just
good.
got good genes.
Yeah. What kind?
Now, do you feel like, I mean, walk me through this if you don't mind. You know, you've made it to 95.
Right.
I imagine that many people in your life that you love and have loved have not made it to 95 with you. How has that been? I mean, thankfully, all of your children are still here.
All of my kids are here. All of my, most of my relatives have gone, of course.
Yeah. I
But
just feel like
they
that's
lived-
a lot to carry.
But
you
they
know?
lived a long time.
They did.
My concern is I haven't written enough down.
Hmm.
I haven't kept good enough books.
But you've told us, Grandma, this podcast
This is recorded
is
forever.
going to
Yeah.
be recorded forever, and this is going to be
Well,
a legacy of,
yeah.
of you telling stories. Your voice is going to be on here. Like
Yes.
anyone will be able to access that at any
Yes.
time.
Yeah,
And so they're going to hear these stories and they're going to carry on and
Yeah.
on and
that's
on.
good.
That was the big reason why we wanted to do this with
100%.
you.
I hope they haven't recognized the lies.
No, you
No.
haven't lied yet.
There's
I've
no
heard all
lies.
these stories for
Yeah.
the most part, and I would know if you were.
Yes.
But this is what's so important to me is, I mean, I never thought of it when we started this podcast that, oh my gosh, like we could record down stories of people
That's right.
who then it lives on even after they're
Right,
gone.
right.
But like
Yeah.
this is so special to me for that reason because I'm gonna be able to listen back to this.
I love you. You know I do.
It is so long without
I
crying.
know. I knew we were going to. I knew you would cry, and it would actually make me have tears.
Well, I tell you what.
For you to be the first guest,
I know it means so much to us.
and
It
for
really
this to
does.
just live
Bless
out.
your hearts. I
Grandma doesn't cry.
Good for her.
I don't really cry a lot.
Yeah.
No,
Never did.
no.
But
I cry enough for the both of us.
Yeah, you
yeah,
do.
you do.
Don't I? For the three of
For
us.
the three.
Maybe for the population of Charlotte. I might cry enough for the population.
Well, that's all right because I feel honored that you feel this close and that both of you.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to know you now.
Oh.
Me too.
And so, you know, It makes me feel special.
You are special.
You are special.
I am
You're
special.
special to a lot of people.
And to a lot of people already, I mean, her followers
Oh
on
my
Instagram
gosh.
just adore
We see-
you.
We see people on the street.
Yes, they know who you are.
Grandma gets recognized and she loves it.
I
And
mean,
if you
that's
see
amazing.
if you see her, please go up and say hi to her.
Yes.
She loves it, and she goes out with other members of the family, not just me. We all
If
kind of
you-
have our days.
Yeah.
If you just recognize me, tell me about it, because I don't care whether you know my other kids or not.
Yeah, she just wants you to come say hey to her. We were in Home Goods, and we were in the checkout line, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, Jerry!" Like they said hi to her before me. They said, "That's Jerry," and I said, "Yeah, it's Jerry."
And me,
And
Miranda.
and Charlotte. You probably no, and they were like, Jerry. I'm like, okay. And then we were at Parker Shopping Center recently, and I had already gotten Grandma into the car, and a woman recognized me, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, it's you!" And I said, "It's Wednesday."
Yeah,
And
it's
she
a
goes,
Wednesday.
"Where's Jerry?"
Jerryantics.
So I walked her over to the car and opened the door and said, "Grandma, say hi to her." And then she said, "Oh my gosh!" And like people they're so excited.
Didn't
because,
one of your followers name it Jerryantics?
Yes. So
Yes,
I put it
yes,
out on
I
the
love
stories
that.
because I said we've got to call this segment something, and I was just like, geriatrics is such a
Yeah.
old term,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's, and the person said, "But her name's Jerry." I said, "Can we incorporate her name somehow?" And someone wrote in the box Jerryantics, and I was like,
Done.
done.
Perfect.
Perfect. So
Yes.
Jerryantics, and people call her that when they see her. Jerryantics, oh my gosh. And it's because so many people in our generation, I feel like, lost their grandparents
Yes.
before
And
they
that's,
got to
that's
really
how
know
I
them.
feel about this.
And so you've
yeah.
become a grandmother to all these
To a lot of
people
us.
who don't either have a relationship or they passed before they got to have one.
Yes.
And so you feel something in that for people.
Now I can be known as Saint Jerryantics.
Yes.
We will name you after, yes, we will give you
Yes.
sainthood.
I
What a very Catholic thing of you to say.
I think that you've earned it.
You've earned your sainthood.
Oh,
But
yes.
yeah, it's just pretty cool to see that, you know, when I got on Instagram and the influencing world of it, I never thought that that this is what it would evolve into, that so many people, I mean, when you do finally die, because we know that will happen, there are a few things that are certain, and I know
Yeah.
that we joke about it, but when you do, I am telling you, there will be a lot.
The church will be full.
It will be overflowing.
There will be a lot of people who are absolutely going to be devastated, and that they're going to miss you. And I think that's so cool that you've been able to fill a place in people's lives like
Don't-
that.
Don't let them miss me. Keep talking about
Yes,
it.
that's right.
We will.
Keep me alive in their hearts.
We will. We'll say
We will.
episode 18 and 19.
Yeah. Shout out.
Go find
Shout out
us.
to Jerryantics. Well, that might be a good place to end
It
on. What
might
do you
be.
think, Grandma?
Well, I think it's probably time. I'm hungry.
I bet
I
you're
know, we gotta
starving.
eat.
We gotta eat. We gotta pick up
Hello.
kids. We gotta eat. We're not having crab legs. I was not smart
But
enough
we
to
have
get
made
those
some-
ordered ahead of
We
time.
made some plans here today. We're gonna get crab legs together. We're gonna make a cocktail
Yes.
together.
Yes.
We've got
We're
so many
we're
things.
gonna go to Marshall's together.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to live for a while.
Yes, you really
I
need
can't
to.
die yet.
No,
I would, I would love to see you get to 100.
Yeah.
I would. That
I
what
would
an
be-
accomplishment.
I would be happy to get to 100 if I
100.
can still walk on my 2 feet.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. She doesn't want to be a burden.
We're
to
gonna make
anyone.
that a goal,
Right.
and we're gonna throw the biggest freaking party
Mhm.
that the city has ever seen.
All right.
Kristen
that
loves a
sounds-
good party.
I love a party.
and she's
Sounds
planning it
like
already.
a plan.
Yes, I and I'm like, we really only have like 3 years. I think we need to start planning. Because 99,
Yeah, she's got
you
it.
know.
She's got it. She's got it already. All planned out.
Okay.
Well, Grandma,
I'm
thanks for
ready.
doing
Thank you
this.
so
You're very
much.
welcome.
I
I've
love you.
enjoyed it
I-
thoroughly.
I'm so glad that you have. I knew that you would.
It's been amazing.
I could whisper, I love you the most.
Yes, and now we
But I
said
dare
it.
not.
There it is. Sorry, Katie. Sorry.
Oh, it's so
Sorry. All of you others.
Whatever y'all's names are.
All right.
All right,
Well,
guys.
thanks for listening to All That to Say. I made it so far.
You did make it far.
Oh, I
but
made it so far.
It's not a true episode if you don't shed a tear.
That's true, and there was no way I was going to get through it. But I really appreciate y'all listening today, especially to someone who is so close to me and so important in my
Yeah.
life that you've given her the time
Yeah.
to speak to you. It's just so awesome that we were able to do this, and we hope that I gotta get it together.
Yeah.
Why don't you take us out?
We hope you guys have enjoyed this. And guess what? This is not the end of the conversation. If you want to leave comments or talk to us on our Instagram and you have more questions for Jerry, as you can tell, she's up for the convo.
Yeah.
So send them in. Let us know what you think.
She's got time.
Of this. Yes, she's got the time.
She's got the time.
And we would love to hear
Time
from our
and
podcasts. So,
Meow. That's rest in peace, Journey. That was her cat.
Journey.
Journey.
Love
She had
that
a cat
name
named-
for a cat.
She had a cat named Journey.
I
So
did.
that's
my
that.
gosh.
That little meow was for Journey.
That's
Shout
for
out
Journey.
Journey.
Rest in peace.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, y'all.
All
We'll
right.
catch you next
We'll
time.
see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.